Peace and power. This is Brother Psyche, and welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, you already have an understanding of what we're going to talk about, what we're going to build on, what we're going to deal with. I usually try to build on something informational with my primary goal to elevate men to the status of kinghood with their thinking, but with a side effect goal of giving inspiration for anybody that seeks true and correct, right, and exact knowledge and information. Now today, I'm building off some just impromptu, off the top of the head. I went to a funeral this morning. My great aunt died. She was 84 years old. I think it's a beautiful thing that she traveled 84 times around the sun before she passed. And my aunt was never sick. She was never dealing with any kind of real health issues. My grandmother, my great aunt's sister, she had her legs cut off from blood clots. My great grandmother, she couldn't talk, couldn't walk at the last few years of her life. My great aunt was only sick the last month before she passed. And today at the funeral, something came across my mind, and I'm gonna tell y'all what I said or what I spoke on at the funeral that didn't necessarily apply to my auntie, but applied to the way we look at things. Because usually when you go to a funeral, you go to the funeral sad and depressed, and you go with the mind state that I lost this person, I lost this, that, there, and other. When in reality, you didn't lose anything. That person lost their lives. And you know, a lot of times we look at things from with ourselves as the center of the world, and with us as the center of the world, we make every single thing that we deal with in reality the worst thing that ever happened. Now, to me, it's all about perspective. I told people that I have not had a bad day in 3 years. I haven't had a bad day in 3 years. I'm good. Everything is all right. And I know that might sound crazy. Everybody has a bad day. The question is, did you have a bad day? Or did something for one moment get outside of your control and you had to deal with something that you did not like? Which one was it? Did you have a bad day, or just something happened that you didn't like? Everybody always talk about how bad 2020 was and how they wish 2020 was over with. What the hell is going to happen when 2021 come in? What different do you think is going to happen? It's still going to be the same planet, and the same people are going to be here. And the thing is, when 2020 roll in, it's going to roll in on you. It's going to roll in directly on you. I be hearing people having problems and having issues in their reality, and they say, I'm thinking about moving. I'm thinking about moving to Austin. I'm thinking about moving to this place. I'm thinking about moving to that place. One thing I know for 100% fact, that wherever you go, you are going to be there. That's one thing I guarantee you. I'm willing to bet you. Wherever you go, you're going to be there. Because 9 times out of 10, the source of whatever issues or problems you're dealing with is you. But here's the point that I made today at the funeral. And all of my cousins and things, they told me that this is something that needs to be shared. I didn't see it as something absolutely profound. I just thought it was a real truth. You see, from 2001 to 2018, I spent my life behind bars. I was incarcerated for 17 years. And in that 17 years was the worst times that I've ever experienced on this planet. Worst things I've ever been through in my life. You know, I wasn't raped or jumped on or robbed or any of that TV stuff you see. None of that stuff happened. But I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean. Let's say one night, let's just make it a Thursday night. Friend of mine come to my cell door 8 o'clock at night. I rack up at 6 o'clock, get in my bunk, and I read for 2 hours before I go to bed. He knock on my door. He say, hey, Brother Psyche, you going to breakfast in the morning? I'm telling him, I said, no, I don't go to breakfast. You know, breakfast come too early. And in prison, in Texas at least, they feed the same exact thing for breakfast every single morning. You're going to get 3 hard pancakes, a spoon of syrup for these 3 hard pancakes, some bran flakes, and some applesauce. That's what you're going to get every single morning. You get tired of it, you're not going to get that. So he said, man, they got their Grand Slam breakfast. Now, you know what a Grand Slam breakfast is? A Grand Slam breakfast is 2 biscuits, scrambled eggs, peaches, and oatmeal. And I know what y'all think. Y'all like, what? That ain't nothing magnificent. In prison, that's great. So I say, yeah, I'm going. Wake me up. Now here's the reason why most people don't go to breakfast in prison. Breakfast starts at 3 a.m. If you want to go to breakfast, you got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now think about that. You get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You might not get down there until 5 o'clock. And then you got to turn around and get back and get in your cell at 6 o'clock and turn around and be at work at 7. So if you get up at 3, you pretty much a wrap. So this journey starts at 3 a.m. I get up, go to the day room, sit for 2 hours, finally get down to the chow hall at 5 a.m., get in line, everything seems like it's rolling smooth, finally get up there to get my tray. Now in prison, it's like going to First Cafeteria or Golden Corral or something. You got a tray and you walking down the line and people are putting food on your tray. You get lucky today. My friend is behind the counter. He give me 2 scoops of eggs. You ain't supposed to get number 1 scoop leveled, but he give me 2 scoops of eggs. So I got my 2 scoops of eggs. I got my biscuits. They hot, fresh out of the oven. My peaches. Everything look like it's going great. I have a seat at my table. Pick up my plastic spork, because you don't eat with no metal. Pick up my plastic spork and get ready to dig in my eggs, and I hear a pow. I look around. Mexican guy then hit a black guy inside the head with a water pitcher. Now here's the thing about that. Again, in prison, it's very racially divided. So if any kind of violent conflict happen between people of opposite races, a race riot is supposed to jump out. Boom, full-fledged race riot jump off 5 o'clock in the morning. They close the doors, shoot the gas canisters in. So now you crying, snotting, tears everywhere. They come in, they tie you up, hog tie you, carry you out to the rec yard, strip you butt naked, and leave you sitting in it. It don't matter. It could be December like right now. It could be January. It could be March. It don't matter what year it is. It could be freezing cold. You're on the rec yard, butt naked. And they're gonna leave you out there for hours under the guise that we're doing an investigation, but it's really to punish you, to show you what you're going to deal with anytime you go to a riot. So now you sitting on the rec yard, freezing cold, tied up, butt naked, nuts on the concrete. You finally get to your bunk about 7 o'clock in the evening, finally. And remember, this journey started at 3 o'clock in the morning. And you might be locked down. That means you locked down in your cell 24 hours a day, eating peanut butter sandwiches and raisins every day for 30 days because of this ride. That's what a bad day look like to me. You're late on your bills. Your credit cards done got a little out of control. Your car didn't start this morning. You had a flat. Those are not necessarily bad days. Those are minor problems that force you to make adjustments. But they're not as bad as you think they are. And sometimes we got to have a change in perspective. Because I know brothers that's down there in prison, 18 years old with 30 years ag. And I know what you're thinking. I had a coworker tell me this. They sent themselves to prison. Well, you gave yourself that bad credit. You the one got yourself working on that job you don't like. You the one refusing to pay your bills on time. So just like they sent themselves to prison, you the one that created these financial problems for yourself. But I guarantee you, any of those brothers that I left down there in that prison would love to have the problems that you have, that bad credit, that bill problem, because that's not really a problem. That's most of the time, that's you not wanting to do what needs to be done. A lot of times people have the mind state that let me do the things I want first, and then let me do the things I need to take care of later. And that's what puts you in the problems that you're in. But the days are not as bad as you think they are. Change your perspective. Have a good day. Peace.